Welcome to Be the Light 365. I'm Pastor Jake. We're in Matthew chapter 19, verses 27 through 30 for our Bible study. And Jesus talked about the rich man getting to heaven. It's hard for a rich man to get into heaven, but nothing's impossible for God. In other words, God can do anything. And then Peter asked Jesus, he says in chapter 27, he says, "We have forsaken all and followed you. What shall we therefore have?" It kind of seems kind of conceited as, what are we getting out of this, type thing. But Jesus follows back and says, "They that follow me in the regeneration." Now, we call it the resurrection sometimes, but he calls it the regeneration here. "When the Son of Man shall come and sit on his throne of glory, then you shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging Israel." That's what the disciples will be doing. All the disciples of Jesus, 12, will be sitting on the thrones of heaven, judging the tribes of Israel. And he goes on, he says, "And everyone that forsaken house, brethren, sister, father, mother, wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life." And he wraps up with this, "But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first." Now we get in the next chapter, in chapter 20, it'll talk more about that. But here's the thing is, it's about giving up. Now you're thinking about, okay, well, it's like giving everything away. It is to a point. It is your heart that you have to let go of this stuff with. You got to let God come first. God's more important than your marriage. That's how God sees it. God's more important than your business, more important than your children. And you have to give it to him. Now, he takes care of your children. He'll take care of all this stuff for you. He'll be there for you. Trust me. He's been there for me through so many thick and thins. But what he's saying here is you got to let your heart let go of things. Now, I've talked about that a lot. Letting you go of everything and not holding on to stuff. Not holding on. I've seen people leave the ministry because their wives or their girlfriends. Give up God for them. That's what God's talking about. You have to give it up. You're not saying that you have to leave them or nothing like that, but you have to put God first. And that's what Jesus is talking about here. He said, those that give God first in this shall inherit everlasting life.